This is unlike anything we've done before. We have a 40,000-pound truck full of gems. We don't know exactly what's on it, so we'll be just as surprised as you are. We can't wait to show you these amazing specimens. All right, today's gem isn't on the table. Today's gem is the table. Huh. So there's nothing in the box, so I'm thinking we don't need that. I think I know what's going on here, guys, okay? Just give me 1 second. Oh my goodness! It's labradorite! It's a type of feldspar, which is part of an isomorphous series. Very complex chemical composition. It's a sodium, calcium, aluminum silicate. The table's actually really smooth. It's cool to the touch, which is nice. The interesting thing about labradorite is it displays an optical phenomenon, labradorescence. And what happens is you have these layers of sodium and calcium, and when light enters, you have a series of interference and diffraction that reflects off of these internal layers, and the reflections and the diffraction produce these iridescent colors. Mostly you have blues and yellows, but you can also have oranges and reds, and I am seeing all colors of the rainbow on this table. This is a massive table. It's 6 feet wide by 20 feet long, made of pure labradorite. So as you can see, we're not in our usual studios. We are in one of our conference rooms. So this is gonna be a super fun episode because we are going to look at super sized gems. We're gonna go on a little field trip to check out some of our coolest large specimens that we have on display here. And then we're gonna go to see some specimens that we could not even fit in the door. So let's go. Here is what we call the sandbox, and we've got a lot of specimens. Some are in matrix, some are in cavities, some are just these massively well-formed crystals, and I want to show you some of my favorites. This is a smoky quartz crystal specimen. You've got tons of individual, really well-formed crystals. Smoky quartz is a dark brownish, blackish type of quartz, and the way that it gets this color is actually really interesting. It's a combination between aluminum impurities and something called a whole color center. What happens is gamma radiation ejects an electron out of its atomic structure, and light actually gets absorbed in that hole. So that, with aluminum ions, creates this beautiful black color. So this is a fluorite specimen. It's from Mexico. It's on a quartz matrix. Fluorite is in the cubic crystal system, like diamond and garnet, but with fluorite you often get these cubes. And as you can see here, there are a bunch of cubes. Some are twinned on here, growing intermittently with each other. And one of my favorite elements of this piece is the darker purple on the perimeter of a lot of the cube edges. Fluorite is colorless when it has no impurities. As it grows, it gets more impure and you get more color. This is one of my favorite specimens in all the sandbox. This is a massive aquamarine crystal in rose quartz. It's from the Saramanga mine in Madagascar, which was originally used to mine tourmaline in the 1920s, but now it's a major producer of rose quartz. Occasionally they get these really large aquamarine crystals, and this specimen actually weighs about 350 pounds. Aquamarine has a range of colors. It can be really light blue, a robin's egg blue, a deep blue. As you can see here, there are some concentrations of a deep blue color, and this mine is known for its deeper blue aquamarine. This is another piece from Madagascar. Ammonites are the fossilized remains of an extinct sea creature. These are actually composed of the mineral aragonite. Thin platelets and stacked layers interfere with the light to create this iridescence. In medieval Europe, ammonites were thought to be coiled petrified snakes and were actually called snake stones. So these specimens are super cool, but apparently we have more that are on their way. So let's go check them out. This is not an unboxing, it's an unloading. This is unlike anything we've done before. We have a 40,000-pound truck full of gems. We don't know exactly what's on it, so we'll be just as surprised as you are. We can't wait to show you these amazing specimens. Oh my gosh, we have a massive azure malachite piece, 8,000 pounds. You have the blues and the greens. It's like the sea. I love it so much. Okay, here is the situation. We have bought a bunch of giant gemstone specimens from famous designer and gem collector Z. We have 2 whole trucks full of them. Some are at our campus, some are going to a private collection. Copper, quartz, what's it on?
It's steel and quartz, and then the heart, it's meteorites.
Meteorite?
The heart, you see the heart right there?
That's a meteorite?
That's 4 meteorites and rhodonite and crushed steel.
That's very cool. You composited this?
Yep.
Can you tell us what's going on?
You got Sonoran Sunset here, and then this is azurite malachite from Morinci. I mined that rock, and I mined this rock. So this is a composite of copper minerals. I grew up with copper minerals. Since I'm from Arizona, it's a copper state. The first time I was at a mine was probably I was a month old, something like that.
A month old?
A month old, yeah. My parents were in the mining and mineral business.
When that lifted off the truck just went up because it's so heavy. So we're following the quartz specimen. We want to unwrap it, see it as it comes out. Will you tell us what we have here?
All right, so what we have is a very large stone that has quartz crystals growing on it. So this piece is from Mount Ida, Arkansas. Comes from a Coleman mine. One other thing that was kind of unique about this, before we put it up on a stand, I was walking around it one day and I go like, whoa, what is that? And I go, that looks like primacord. Primacord is like string dynamite. This one didn't go. Anyhow, I had them come and pull it out.
Back here are the holes where Z found dynamite that had to be kind of excavated out of it.
You want to cut it?
Look at that, amethyst.
And you can see the tips are really clear and gemmy. It's a raw piece. It's nice because most of your amethysts are geodes, so they go in, right? So they're concave, where this one here is convex. It's more like a regular cluster.
This is a flame of rose quartz. They've polished it and shaped it so it looks like a flame. Very cool. I thought it looked like a fatty tuna. A little bit of marbling. This is a giant amethyst tree. There is a blanket here and we are going to uncover it right now. Oh my gosh. Look at that. This is 11.5 feet. That's amazing. I don't know where this is gonna go, but we'll have to find out. So we've seen a few different really cool things. There's been malachite, chrysocolla, different sculptures that Z has created, so lots of very cool things. Okay, now everything is set up and we are here with the Gemstones.com president and CEO, Tim Matthews, to talk about all these minerals that are here on our campus. So why do we do all this?
What we're trying to do is we're trying to inspire people to get excited about gems and gemology and mineralogy. And this is one way to do it. We want people to be looking at these in awe and wonder and asking questions like, where did this come from? And how did nature create this?
So let's take a look at some of the individual specimens.
Great.
Okay, so this is a very interesting specimen. I personally think it looks like a combination between cauliflower and a brain, but it's actually lemon chrysoprase. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Actually, that name is a complete misnomer. What it actually is, it's a nickel-stained magnesite. And what happened here in geological terms is that some very old rock has leached silica, and that silica has combined with the magnesite to form this beautiful yellow-greenish color.
Okay, so why do they call it chrysoprase?
Well, it's a trade name, but it's commonly found with chrysoprase, so they've adopted this name for it, even though it's completely different.
And let me tell you, this is so smooth. Okay, so the fatty piece of tuna, the rose quartz flame, tell us about it.
All right, so when you think of quartz, what do you think of? You think of a transparent, clear material. But rose quartz is actually infused with a fibrous mineral, which causes it to go from being transparent to translucent, and also then imparts this beautiful pink cast.
Larger pieces of rose quartz usually have this higher color saturation, so you have this really deep, almost purplish pink color, and the polish is gorgeous.
An artist took this and really made this a piece of art, taking nature's beauty, combining it with the artistic touch of a human, and this is the example that you come up with. One of the fun things about the study of all this material is, like, when did it first become recognized by mankind? Well, actually, if you go back in history, 7,000 BC, almost 10,000 years ago, there's evidence that people in Mesopotamia, which is roughly speaking present-day Iraq, were using rose quartz to make beads.
Amazing. Okay, so this is one of my personal favorites. I remember we saw this and we thought we just have to have this one. This is chrysocolla from Sonora, Arizona.
Chrysocolla is a copper-based mineral, but what makes this piece so unique is that wet look.
Yes, so you can see in various spots of this specimen, it has a look as if it's wet or maybe oily. It's actually called roiling. They think it's because tiny microscopic druzy quartz crystals are deposited on here and create that kind of shiny, watery luster on there.
Chrysocolla was first discovered, according to legend, by King Solomon in the city of Eilat, which is in modern-day Israel. It's still a city.
So you're not going to see this in crystal form. The common habits are botryoidal, stalactitic, and massive form. So when you see chrysocolla, it's going to be in, big, massive chunks typically. Okay, so we cannot stop without talking about this massive geode. It's over 11 feet tall. I think this is taller than two of me. This is an amethyst cathedral, also sometimes called a tunnel, from Brazil. Hundreds of tons of amethyst have been mined yearly out of Brazil. This is from the Rio Grande do Sul state, which is the southernmost state of Brazil. The geodes in this area are due to extensive volcanic activity and massive lava flows around 130 million years ago. There are pockets of gas that were released from and then trapped in the lava as it cooled, and that created the space for this amethyst to form. They can be purchased before they've even come out of the ground. They'll mine a pocket, they'll see that it's viable, they'll drill holes into the geode to inspect it for its size, its color, and then they'll go to auction and people can actually buy these before they've even come out of the ground. Then you'll see this cement is often used to make the geodes sturdy, especially ones like this that have some curvature to them. This specimen is such a fun piece. It's called a Sonoran Sunset, sometimes called a Sonoran Sunrise. We also have a sphere of the same material over by the fountain. The blue-green, greenish-blue is a chrysocolla. The red is a cuprite. One thing I love about this is they're both colored by copper. So this black material is probably tenorite, which also has copper in it. It's a copper oxide. Sonoran sunsets are often used in ornamental materials, so lots of cabochons. It's interesting because they have different hardnesses. To cut something that has two hardnesses can actually be somewhat difficult. You can see here, there's a lot of character, there's a lot of texture. It's just a phenomenal piece. I love this piece. This is petrified wood from Bali. Petrified wood is wood that has been replaced with silica. I love the colors here. It's like this combination of tans and like deep Chianti reds and whites, and it spins, which is super fun. I could do this all day. This cluster is from Namibia. There are a few things going on here. This host material is colorless quartz, and then there are two minerals that I think are so interesting and fascinating on this. One, elbite tourmaline. Everyone knows that I love tourmaline, especially the pinkish reddish varieties. And then you have this metallic looking material. So this is lepidolite. Lepidolite is a rare lithium rich mica mineral, and you'll see if you look closely, it has this really pretty lavender purple color. Okay, so typically I wouldn't recommend sitting on gems, but this one's pretty sturdy, it can handle me. This is also from Namibia, and what I want you guys to see here is the elbite tourmaline. So elbite can have this reddish color, but it also often has this yellowish greenish color, and there are a few spots on this specimen where you can really see them together. So this one right here, you've got the pink core and then the green rind, so to speak. It's so cool. More gems. So tell me what's up with this guy.
All right, now obviously this is a piece of abstract art. We call it the Centurion, and it's a composite of a lot of different things. We've got Mount Ida, Arkansas quartz here. Quartz in Arkansas is beautiful, and there are large deposits of quartz. And it's an important source for computer chips, for radio parts, and other electronics where quartz is very important as an ingredient. We've got rhodonite, which is from Brazil. We also have rose quartz from Brazil, which is the head. And then this is a very unusual piece. The heart of the Centurion is actually a fragment from one of the largest meteorite finds in the world.
Found in Argentina, the meteorites are called Campo de Cielo. Can you tell us a little bit more about the meteorites?
Right, so when the meteorite field was first discovered by the Aborigines, we don't know what they called it, but then the conquistadors came and they gave it a Spanish name, which means field of the heavens. The meteorite is thought to be one of the largest meteorites ever to hit the Earth. It actually probably broke up in the atmosphere as it was entering. There are at least 26 different locations where the meteorite fragments have been found. And also we have Arizona copper, which provides the scarf.
So we came over here and we saw a bird's nest, and then we saw some movement in there, and I thought, that might be the bird. No, there was a little tiny frog hopping in the inside. They both made the Centurion their home. It is truly a one-of-a-kind piece. We're so excited to have it here. So many of these specimens are made up of such interesting minerals.
Absolutely, and if you want to learn more about your favorite gemstones, go to gemstones.com, where you can find a wealth of information, videos, articles, blogs, and all kinds of interesting information about gems.
And if you want to see more of our videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Thanks for watching.